Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Eric Adams absolutely nails it on The View, explaining why Trump made New York even redder. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our great sponsors over at Colonial Metals Group. Even though Trump won the election, it's imperative that you protect your wealth with gold and other precious metals, and that's exactly what Colonial Metals Group can do for you. Now, let's dive in.
And you actually stated that you think you said the far left agenda is backfiring. What do you attribute the decline in support among Democrats in New York to, and what are Democrats getting wrong?
Well, okay, first I want to go back to your original comment. I was calling for the dismantling of hate in our country. Our Sikhs who are being attacked, LGBTQ members are being attacked, African Americans, Jews. I say let's dismantle the hate. And what you saw in this city, in this election, when you saw a shift and the state becoming redder, is because we stopped talking about working class people issues. When mom and pops are afraid, I can't pay my college tuition, the rent is too damn high, healthcare is too expensive. We stopped talking to everyday New Yorkers and Americans. When I'm in the street talking to them, they're not asking me, Eric, tell me about fascism. They're talking about finance. They're not talking about Hitler. They're talking about housing. We need to talk to everyday working class people. And we stopped doing that. And those are the issues that they are afraid of. They're afraid of the future of their children.
But the Democratic Party was addressing most of those issues with the infrastructure bill, for example, and keeping Medicare and Social Security safe. Why would they vote for the party that will hurt them? I didn't get that.
Well, you know, part of the business of campaigning is getting your message out and being clear on your message. Even the experts in their party were saying, get back to the message. What are we doing for everyday people in the country? And that's the same thing happened in 2022. When I got elected in 2022, I stated that, listen, we need to be talking about crime in this country. They ignored it. We lost the election. During 2023, I said we had to deal with this migrant and asylum seeker issue. It was on the top 1 or 2 issues in the country. We ignored it. We have to go back and talk to those issues that people are worried about.
Okay. Eric Adams, congratulations. Good for you. You understand the point. A good politician talks about the actual issues that hurt or are hurting your constituents. And the majority of New Yorkers were suffering under the Kamala Harris and Joe Biden administration. So, first I got to address Joy Behar. No, voters aren't caring about Social Security and Medicare, okay? The ones that do usually vote Republican, and they know that stuff's never going to be touched. Because every single time a Republican pipes up and says, hey, we got to reform this thing, it usually ends up in an electoral landslide in the next election for Democrats. Happened in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and you heard whispers of it happening just about a year ago, and it never came to fruition. Granted, I would love, personally, that we actually reform these two models. I would love some more privatization in Social Security, because if I were to have my tax dollars going into a private account, it would have made more money than the federal government account. But that's neither here nor there, because again, Joy, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey y'all, I'm not exactly looking at retirement anytime soon, but my parents are. And friends of my parents are. And I'm sure either you or someone you know is looking at retirement and wondering, what do I do? How do I help prepare for this in this economy with this terrible president and with a vice president who basically coup d'etat him and is now looking to run for president herself? How do you protect against this? Well, simple. You go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have something called the Retirement Package Plan. This plan backs your wealth with gold and silver accounts. And furthermore, you will have direct access to these accounts. So you're not at the whims of Wall Street. You're not at the whims of inflation. You are in command of your own destiny. As a bonus, qualified applicants can receive up to $10,000 in free silver, plus a couple of other little goodies that they're going to package up for you, and you're going to be able to protect your wealth and your retirement. So go over to this link in the description below at colonialmetalsgroup.com or call this number 800-203-0422 and see how they can help you prepare for retirement today by backing your account with gold and silver. Don't delay your retirement, folks. Protect the money that you earned with Colonial Metals Group. They're here to help. You have been given your talking points from rich white liberals and not the working class. Okay? You are a part of a media conglomerate that tries to placate wealthy white liberals and their children. And Mayor Eric Adams, you can hear from his rhetoric, he is definitely a Democrat because he is talking about minority issues as if they're the only ones that are suffering from certain problems. And he's talking about LGBT issues, which, again, same issue, but they're facing a completely different set of scrutinies. But that's a different discussion for another day. If you want to talk about oppression, this channel ain't it, although I would love to debate someone down the road, because it's an issue worth talking about. But here we're dealing with the actual consequences of politics, elections, and rhetoric. That's what I specialize in. And Mayor Eric Adams understood that the number one and number two issue in New York City and across the country, okay? As goes New York, so goes the nation. Let's be real here. If you can make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere, right? So New York is the sort of ultimate American dream. Therefore, if people are complaining about the economy and the way they're handling immigration, and not only that, the way that it seems like illegal immigrants are getting more benefits than the average Joe on the street, that seems like it's going to be a bit of a problem now, isn't it? And Mayor Eric Adams ran on that issue and absolutely clobbered everyone at the polls because of it. Now, he kept his Democrat bona fides, and that's why Joy is asking, well, why didn't our message win? Again, Mayor Eric Adams is basically saying what I've been saying the whole time. The Democrat coalition is a giant circle. It's a giant pizza pie. Half of it's white, half of it's minority. And when I say minority, I'm also including LGBT in there as well. And in the upper half, there are three main slices of pie: white blue collar, rich white liberals, and the children of rich white liberals. And they've lost the white blue collar. They've lost the black working class. They've lost Latino voters, and they're slowly seeping black women. And it's a slower drip. But ultimately, they're losing their entire coalition because they've refused to talk about blue-collar issues. Meanwhile, Republicans have piped up, particularly, I love drawing the distinction between Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a classical conservative, doesn't want government involved, and Josh Hawley realizes there's a massive opportunity here to take a huge chunk of the Democrat coalition and quite literally outflank them. Donald Trump came to the exact same conclusion, and that's why RFK Jr., Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, people that have been sort of on the libertarian left, libertarian center, and they're now going, wait a minute, Donald Trump's giving us a better option here. Let's expand the big tent. But finally, I need to turn to Mayor Eric Adams. Something weird is happening with him. He's not from the traditional power structure, even though he was, I believe the president of the borough of Brooklyn. I believe that was it. But something happened. Something happened when he got elected in 2014 to that position. Apparently, he started taking some alleged bribes and started looking the other way when foreign nationals would rent out skyscrapers. And this is a common practice all over New York City. And these foreign nationals will rent out these skyscrapers, and they won't always bring things up to code. But Mayor Eric Adams isn't the only one who does that. And I know this is secondhand information, but I have a friend whose father works very closely with a lot of mayors. He loves going down to the mayor conventions, and he cozies up to them. He's got a bunch of them on speed dial. And he has told me time and time again, and I've even asked him because I wonder, he's got all this wealth of knowledge. He's incredibly good to work with. He's great at cutting deals. He's smart. He is the right kind of sarcastic, and he's the right kind of deal maker. Who would get along very well with different legislators. And he just looks at me and says, Brian, every single one of those mayors is corrupt to the bone. That's just the way things work, and I don't ever want part in it. I enjoy the parade. I enjoy the show, but I don't want to take part in it. And so it made me realize that when Mayor Eric Adams had all these trumped up charges brought against him, it makes me wonder. And it almost confirms the idea that there is sort of an in group and an out group. And if you're not in that in group, they will use legal means in any way, shape, or form to look for anywhere where you've screwed up, even if it's a minor infraction and you didn't even know you were doing it. And they'll use it to destroy your career. And Mayor Eric Adams he's in jeopardy because he has been caught. He did indeed do these things. This is technically against the law, but lo and behold, it's almost as if nearly every single mayor in America does something like this. I know the mayors of Atlanta have never been on the level. They've all been corrupt to some degree. And I can guess that in a much bigger city like New York City, that's definitely par for the course. So it begs the question, where is the line of justice? That is a big reason why we keep on getting guys like Donald Trump, why RFK Jr. keeps on getting brought to the center, why we're talking about Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. It seems that there is a two-tier justice system, and now it's even being applied to Democrats who aren't fully in the in-group, who aren't towing the rhetorical lines, and are trying to return the party to its more centrist working-class roots. But I'm here to tell you that won't work anymore, because the working class no longer trusts Democrats. It's going to take a long time for them to ever gain their trust again. Meanwhile, Republicans can only gain trust in these people, and particularly by making the economy great again. And so that's what I foresee happening. Mayor Eric Adams, I appreciate you telling the truth. I do appreciate the kind of rhetoric you do have, because that's something I can work with and Republicans can work with. But Democrats can't have that. Democrats can't have anyone not towing the line to a T, and that's why they're going after him. So he might be 100% right in his rhetoric and talking about how the Democrats need to talk about working class issues, but it's too late. The Republicans have taken that center, Trump has taken that mantle, and it's our turn. And I am so excited for this. So Trump and Republicans, don't screw this up. And I'll do my best to make sure that we are pushing forward as best as we possibly can. And y'all, I hope that this message resonates with y'all as well. Let me know in the comments if it does or if it doesn't. I love it when people disagree, because the only thing I hate worse than losing is being wrong. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.